And we continue with the Advent series with the second Friday of Advent, December 9th. Suppose we entertain a thought experiment for a second. Imagine we receive the news that God died. Friedrich Nietzsche was correct all along. Suppose the figure we thought was omnipotent and almighty croaked. He had 1 billion years under his belt, but in the end his ancient ticker gave out. So long, old man, it was nice knowing you. I'll send my regards to your grieving family via Facebook with an emoji. Now that God has died, do we descend into animalistic revelry? Do we throw caution to the wind and just start behaving in an ungodly manner? Well, if the ancients have taught us anything, it's that we have a need, a desire, to fulfill the good in life. Well, if the ancients have taught us anything, is that we have a need, a desire, to fulfill the good in life. Our code of ethics, as much as we claim is tied to the Judeo-Christian paradigm, very much fits what we read in Plato, Aristotle, and other Christians and non-Christian philosophers. From a Christian mindset, reading these philosophers, we want to say their system prefigures Christ, and what they taught is a deficient form of the ethics which is realized through divine revelation. But isn't that a little bold? Society during the classical period was equally moral during the Christian period. The Greeks and Romans were horrified at the notion of child sacrifice as much as the Israelites. For us, in a Western perspective, we view the Greco-Roman world as the paragon of political, social, and philosophical achievements. Christianity was just the cherry on top. You take God and Christianity away and you still have the moral bedrock upon which society rests. It's not like moral order collapses at God's death and we suddenly become lecherous pigs. But it's Christian ethics that defines us, I hear you say. If that's what you believe, so be it, but might I recommend at least dipping your toes in Ethics by Aristotle or Gorgias by Plato. You nod your head in agreement with some of the things these guys have to say. They didn't have the benefit of Christian revelation. Furthermore, if we dispensed with God, then what about all the prejudices we inflict on others due to race, sexual orientation, gender, and beliefs? The mask is suddenly pulled away and it exposes mere bigotry. There is no God finds them abhorrent, because God would be irrelevant if he were dead. But a determined person would say, we maintain it because it's expected of us. These are the commandments given, and even if God were dead, we maintain it regardless. But that says more about a person's determination to carry on hating and creating a straw man premise to bolster and justify their worldview. If we maintain our prejudices because of a living God, then once he's dead, we maintain it out of respect for his will, which would, theoretically, post-exist. And on the flip side, those who would engage in debauchery have not changed whatsoever. And on the flip side, those who would engage in debauchery have not changed whatsoever. If these were people who were zealous during God's lifetime, then his death would not entirely be justified their carrying on, as it was an act that pre-existed. His death would only be the facade in which to say, I didn't do it as much before due to the current mood, but now that he's croaked, I'm liberated now. But the debauched don't really need an excuse or a liberation. It's an auxiliary, and it is equally a straw man premise as the bigot's position. So the moral code by which we live is not altered or affected by divine death. We may lose a figure by which we use as the measurement to gauge the level of our morality and the incentive for fulfilling the obligations of morality, but nothing changes. We would still live under an orderly system because of an innate need for order over chaos, moral behavior over lechery and debauchery, and temperance over excess. We don't really need God for that, as the ancients have shown us. And they were as upright and upstanding as the early Christians. I mean, why else would we view them in the highest regard?